guys, welcome to the channel Rockin' the Country. I'm Don. I'm doing a reaction today, and this is going to be fun for me because, well, one, it's Landon Wall, and I did a reaction to one of Landon's songs a couple weeks back that I forget who had requested Landon at the time, so please forgive me. But he was doing a performance, it turned out to be at the Bluebird Cafe, and I think he was 13 years old. So I don't know if it was a special night or not there, but we were all, like the comments that I read, you know, of yours, we were all impressed. Like I didn't get the sense at all that he was 13. You know how sometimes you could be drawn in by the novelty of a given performer. And so you're like, oh, kind of a nice song, but it's amazing for a 13-year-old. When I was watching him perform, in that video, I remember not being influenced by that at all. And that's a testament to his maturity. Maybe he's in the right space in life, put it that way. Some of us find early on in life, some ballerinas know from a young age, they don't just have this pie in the sky dream, but they know that's what they're going to do, that's what they're going to be, and they go on to become it. And I actually know a couple that went on to become professional ballerinas at a high level, but they knew at a young age. They were and they had it. And so Landon may have this, but I'm excited to do this because whenever the artist an artist reaches out to me or leaves a comment in the comment section that you all can read, as well as I can read, of course, I'm honored. I'm sincerely honored. And there are no partitions there. I don't care the age, the gender, none of that factors in. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're going to comment to me? I humble easily, I guess. So maybe it was my upbringing, for good or bad. But Landon reached out to me in a direct message, and he explained the song that I had seen, how it was written. He answered some of the questions that I had posed, but it was in a private message to me, so I'm not going to, reveal everything. But he said, here's another song of mine, that I've done, and it's called When the Whiskey Runs Out. And Landon right now is 16 years old. So this is the vocalist, the guitarist, the song, and he said he wrote this with his dad. And as I recall correctly, so I'm not going to read the direct message because I haven't heard back from Landon if I had permission to do that. So I'm just going to respect him. And I'm just going to do this song. It's a video too. Yeah. Oh, and on the same day, this was a lot of fun for me. On the same day that Landon private messaged me, it was a few days after I had done this video. That very same day, Sarah Beth Terry posted in the comments section, because that day I had done another one of her reactions. So two artists, were in touch with me and or the channel on the very same day. And I was like, yes. So here we go with Landon Wall, 16-year-old writing When the Whiskey Runs Out. Let's see what this is about. I like the imagery.
Looks like change is finally coming. Maybe this time for the good. There'll be things I've never felt, things I thought I never would. I've never felt heartache, don't know how that feels, but I will. I've never been shaken to the bone, and cast out and forsaken. That's the feeling I've ever known. I've never been lonely. I don't know what that's about, but I'll know when the whiskey runs out.
That's a lot to think about. I gotta pause for a second and just think about that. I didn't see that coming. I've never been lonely, but I will when the whiskey runs out. All right. All right, so as long as this person has whiskey, he feels, or she feels accompanied, feels whole. And that's a problem because then that's alcoholic, right? All right, here we go.
One hand on the throttle, the other on the bottle. I know how to run and hide, how to put it all behind me till they find me on the floor.
Yeah, all right.
Well, I've never had to deal, never had to feel, always ran away from what's inside. But no more, no more, no more. I've never been shaken to the bone. Cast out and forsaken, that's a feeling I've never known. Well, I've never been lonely, I don't know what that's about, but I'll know. When the whiskey runs out, I'll take that bottle in my hand, turn it up and watch it pour out on the sand, and I'll finally know what it's like to really be a man.
There you go.
I've never been shaken to the bone, cast out and forsaken, that's a feeling I've never known. And I've never been lonely, don't know what that's all about, but I'll know. Whiskey runs out. When the whiskey runs out.
All right, I have a few thoughts there. Of course, I don't know what's making the whiskey run out, because whiskey typically doesn't run out unless something goes really wrong. And either your life runs out because you lose it driving, because there he had one hand on the bottle, one hand on the throttle. So maybe he was on a motorcycle, whatever. I don't know if this was real or not, but it's certainly depicting. The lyrics were reminiscent to me, not of something you'd hear in Nashville. It would be more traditional. It had a depth to it. There was a substance, a bite, a sting, a real sliver of life. Those weren't generic lyrics. The music was more reminiscent of Nashville, so I'm not quite sure which direction you're going in, Landon, if you should see this, but the artist Landon is going in, so we'll see. And part of me hopes, because the traditional feel, so much of it, people can argue about this, but is not a big part of the Nashville scene. It's more pop. And that's okay, because in one sense, a lot of people are being drawn into what you might call a watered down or modified version of traditional country music, and then some will make the shift back at some point to being more accepting of the Waylon Jennings and the Patsy Clines and going back. You go back to Johnny Horton, but maybe Nashville is, just as anything can change, even the pop version of Nashville music could shift toward becoming more of that storytelling. There being more in equilibrium between the lyrics and the type of music you hear in equal sophistication. Maybe that's the way to put it, without wanting to sound crass. So I'm not going to rate that, but Landon, I don't know if you see this, if you comment in the general comments, I'm sure people would love to meet you and see where it goes. But you did say you're working on a publishing deal, so it looks like you're going to be working at some point as a songwriter, which is typically or frequently how the artist gets started. And and then you work with other musicians, maybe studio musicians, and usually you'll be in a writing room on Music Row somewhere. The Fire Pit, I think was one of them I was in a while back. A friend of mine took me in there. That's where he had gotten a lot of his writing done. But all right, That's it. When the Whiskey Runs Out by Landon Wall. And be constructive with your comments, guys. 16 years old. That's impressive to me. That's what I can say right there. So that's it. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. See you on another video. Keep rocking the country.